Hi, look what I've made. Hi, and welcome to my channel, Heartfelt Crochets by Darlene. Here on my channel, you will find tutorials and crochet with me's and look what I've made. So if that's what you're looking for, then you've come to the right place. So grab a cup of coffee or whatever it is that you're drinking today. Come crochet with me. Oh, and hey, by the way, if you like the videos, give me a thumbs up and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of all my upcoming videos. Okay, now let's go crochet. Okay, so I found the pattern to her on Etsy, and I will make sure that I put the link in the description along with what I used for yarns and where I bought my yarn. So let's talk a little bit about her. Like I said, I found the pattern on Etsy. I used super bulky blanket yarn, number 6 yarn, and I used, I'm sorry, I have to refer to my notes. I used whipped cream for the body, the legs, the arms, the face. For the unicorn horn, I used vintage white, okay? And then for this beautiful color on the bottom of her feet, on the bottom of her hands, and her adorable hair, I used Bernat Blanket Deep Fuchsia. For her eyes, I used 13 millimeter eyes, although it called for 14 millimeter eyes. I didn't have 14 and size 16 was too big, so I downsized to 13. They do look a little bit beady-eyed, so you might want to go up a size if you have them, but I used 13. She is really simple to make. There was an option that you could do a complete sew, so that means that you could make her body, and then after everything was complete, you could sew on the legs and the arms, the head, the horn, and the ears. But then there was a no sew option for the limbs, and I don't do so good in sewing a lot of the things. Like her head, as you notice, she's a little floppy, and I think it's because I didn't quite hold her head on straight when I was sewing it. So there's a no sew option for the limbs, meaning that as you start the body, you get up a few rows, and then you end up single crocheting the legs right into the next row. And the same thing with the arms. Once you get up to a certain point, and it will show you, there's a page in the pattern further on towards the end. I think there's like 20 pages that you end up printing out to this pattern. Now, don't let that freak you out, because it's a really easy pattern to follow. But I think it's like on page 17 is the no sew option. So just follow those instructions. Also, the mane of the unicorn, it only had a pattern. In the pattern, it only had instructions for just a small strip. I went ahead and just went crazy a little bit, so you can just go ahead and do what you want and make it your own. These are all chains of 20, and you just weave them into a stitch on the back of the head and make 20 stitches, and then you go ahead and attach it to another stitch with a slip stitch or a single crochet, and you make another chain of 20, and it's quite simple. And to be totally honest with you, I thought that if I gave her a crazy mane, that it would kind of make it look like the mane was a little heavy, so she kind of had to cock her head a little sideways to see if I could make up for my flaw in sewing her head on her body. So I used a 5mm hook for her. If you went up a size and used like a 6mm hook, you would get a little bit bigger of a unicorn, but I wouldn't go much above a 6mm hook, because that's when you would end up getting bigger holes in between your stitches, and it wouldn't hold your filling would start to show and pop through a little bit. So a nice, you know, they called for a 4.5mm hook in the pattern. I chose to do a 5mm hook, and that was still a really nice tight stitch without having any stuffing show through. Oh yes, and her tail, her cute little tail also is just chains of 20. Like 4 or 5 of them. It's adorable. You can make this in any color that you want. You know, I threw in some white. It didn't call for it. It called for just the color to match the feet and the hands, but I chose to just throw in a strip of white. Have fun with it. Isn't she adorable? The person that created this pattern called her Misty the Unicorn. Misty's a good name. I like Misty. Okay, so she's going to go to the market with me. I'm going to see if we can sell her. So again, I used super bulky Bernat blanket yarn in the colors Vintage White and Whipped Cream and Deep Fuchsia. Just the three colors. So yeah, that's the most recent thing that I have made. This was just yesterday. It took me a total, this is how I timed her. Okay, let me tell you how I timed her. I have a stopwatch on my Apple Watch, and I first made the head, timed how long it took me to make that, timed how long it took me to make the horn, the body, all individually, how long it took me to make one leg, times it by 2, how long it took me to make one arm, times that by 2, the same with the ears, and then how long it took me to make the chains and attach the mane and the tail, and how long it took me to sew the rest of the parts together. And it took me a total of 3 hours and 47 minutes, and approximately about $10 worth of material. So depending on, you know, what you charge per hour for your projects, that is how much she is going to cost at the market. So yeah, I'll go ahead and I will link all the information about her in the description of this video. If you have any questions, please throw them down in the comments below. I think that I covered everything, but I may have missed something. So if you can think of something that I missed, please ask me and I will answer you. I also wanted to throw in too that I do my very best to answer, respond to your comments and answer your questions. I try within a 48-hour period. I apologize if you don't hear from me that soon, because sometimes some comments will get overlooked and I won't see them for a week or two, and sometimes, you know, maybe even a month, and I pray to God that doesn't happen, but it did happen once, and I apologize to that person. Yes, so we have Misty the Unicorn, what I have recently made. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, because I just love having more and more people come and join me. Till next time, bye.